So welcome to Keeping Balance on the Edge of Chaos, something that's extremely important to us given what's happened in 2020 and now looking forward to 2021. So keeping balance as a concept is quite straightforward, regardless of the forces, the three-legged stool, or the dolmen in Ireland, the three stones with a stone on top. But you get the idea, this three opposing supports are something that we should think about, we should focus on, and we should apply in our lives. So keeping balance in our lives, keeping balance on our projects, keeping balance in our organizations. So one of the first things we have to concentrate on is what we're doing, what we're trying to achieve, the physicality, the form that we will deliver. The second one is how we're going to do that. So that's the processes, the resourcing, the environment we're working in, and perhaps the more scientific area if you want. And then we have why we're doing it, which is another focus area, which is sometimes left behind and sometimes not addressed explicitly, and perhaps should be. So focusing on the what as one leg, on the how on another leg, and on the why on the third leg will definitely help us to keep balance. Another way we look at this is to think as the what as the craft, the skills, the techniques that have been passed down from generation to generation, the experiences that have enabled us to learn without remembering. It becomes part of the brain process thinking. And then we have over here in the how, which is the science, which is the how we're going to get it done, the processes, but the repeatability, the falsification, if you want, the ability to be able to do something in a repeatable manner with fundamental concepts that can be passed from person to person quickly, electronically if you want, but standard operating procedures as well. Okay, so that would be the science. And here we have what's called the art. So this is kind of more of the complex part of it. So it's the ability to be able to make major leaps forward using metaphor, using story, using emotions, using motivation and conflict resolution and team development, and all of those things that are more what's called soft skills or now called power skills by the PMI, but combining the art with the science, combining the science and the craft and the art. Collectively, we see this idea of a central place where project management should keep its eye not too far away from the science, not too far away from the art, not too far away from the craft. And sometimes we get a little bit off balance, and that's what we're going to address in this course. Perhaps a simple way to think about this is to see this as the product, which is the what we're going to produce, the thing we're going to produce, and whether it has form or not, it has some kind of a product idea. Even if it's software, there's an idea that it's an application, it's a product somehow. It gets packaging, it gets marketing, it gets branding, but it has this product nature of it. The science and the how, of course, is process, as we've mentioned. And so the process is quite important, process improvement, and we've seen this over the years from all the management and MBA kind of stuff. How do we bring process improvement approaches that we had in operations and bring them into project management? And this one here, again, following on with the alliteration of the letter P, is the people side. And I think this is where we are learning and have always known that the people side is perhaps as big as both of these combined. If you can get the people to work together, if you can get the stakeholders to overcome their resistance and their fears and their concerns, if you can somehow get a team to work well together rather than to work just passively together, you're going to get into this idea of managing the people, managing the processes, and managing the product. But a good team without good processes without good skills is not going to work. So we do need to have this combination, this balance, if you want, of the product and the process and the people. Okay, and perhaps the most challenging of these three pillars is to be able to represent this through the modern study of neurology, neuroscience, and this 21st century brain. And we will be talking about this in the class itself. So, I mean, if you think about it, there is this idea of kind of a reptile brain, which is cold, calculating, striking, effective, talented, all the good things about reptiles. And then we might even have here a mammal, which is the emotions, which is where we get into anger and fear and sadness and regret and joy and surprise, and the mammalian type brain and the emotional centers that mammals share with humans, but not with reptiles. Okay, and then for the one, of course, that we're going to be talking about a lot is the primate, which is where we engage the prefrontal cortex, the most modern part of the brain, for forward planning, for imagination, for being able to do these kind of innovative kind of things that perhaps other animals don't do as well. And so the ability to look forward, to plan, to take action as needed perhaps by climate change and COVID and those kind of things is where we'll be looking at the primate brain, recognizing the benefits of the reptile brain, and understanding the benefits of having an emotional side of it, as well as a logical, sequential, literal side of it. So combining the mammal side, the primate side, which gives us the forward-looking planning, and also the reptile, which is the talent and the ability that we have. We'll bring these together to form the three parts of the stool, the three legs of project management, in order to help us to keep balance. And so the promise of this course is that if we combine the people side of it with the product side of it, if we combine the art with the craft, well, then we will get better design. And who wouldn't like better design? Who doesn't like better design? I think design is extremely important. We saw this in the 80s and the 90s with the advent of computers and with Apple products and the design leading to the Tesla and all these kind of things where design has been very much a part of the functionality, design, purchasing, marketing, if you want. So it has to be functional, of course, but well designed. And so well designed is very good. But if we combine the craft and the science, if we combine the what with the how, then this course and what we're going to try and delve into here is productivity. And who wouldn't want more productivity, to be able to scale up, to be able to reach out to larger audiences, more people, solve bigger problems, perhaps. If we had a solution for climate change, wouldn't it be great to be able to roll it out and be more scientific about how we roll this out? And of course, the last one that we're thinking about here is if I combine the science with the art, if we combine that, we'll get story. So to get the story is a very important part of project management. That's where we get the motivation. That's where we get the appeal. That's where we get the buy-in. But it's a beginning, middle, end kind of thing. The project will end. And so what is your story? What is your story of your journey that you took, regardless of what it is that you did? Was it a good journey? Was it a bad journey? Is it possible to recreate that story? And so the story ties into the emotions. It pulls us along. It keeps us motivated. It keeps us attentive. It keeps us engaged as we talk about with stakeholders. So collectively, you can see that keeping balance, and this is where we want to be. We want to keep balance, not over here, not over here, not over here. But like anything that's in balance, you have to keep moving. There's going to be movement around here. And so there will be some kind of a relationship where we are off balance from time to time, like a tightrope walker going along, but we come back on balance again. The point isn't just to keep balance, but to keep balance on the edge of chaos. Why? Because that's where the advantages are. That's where the innovation is. And that's where we need to be. So looking forward to seeing you in the course. There's more, you can click on the links afterwards, but this is going to be fun. We're going to look at these three pillars of project management and how we have to keep them in mind continuously as we move forward as an organization to take on bigger and better projects.